Okay, welcome back. Today I'm going to be doing a part 2 of the Chinese genealogy book known as a Jupu or a Jokpo. So here's a Chinese genealogy book here. It's from the Zhou family here of the Cici village, originating from the Song dynasty right here. So this book is about 600 pages, or actually 500 pages long. But before I go further onto the book, which I just went over the very basics last time, I need to do a quick anatomy of a Chinese name before I can go over some of these Chinese names here in this book here. To do a quick anatomy of the Chinese name, we must have to, like in surgery, like in the doctor's office, we must dissect what is a Chinese name before we could go on further here to understand what is actually is inside a jukpo in the Chinese genealogy book. So, without further ado, here I have a piece of paper here, just as an example. Let's zoom in a little bit. Okay, so here I have 3 characters here. 1, 2, 3. The first name is a surname, also known as your last name, but also known as a family name because this is your last name of your family. I prefer calling a family name because it is the name of your family. It's the most important name of a family and most important name of your family and yourself. That's why it is first in a Chinese traditional naming scheme. In a Chinese traditional name, you have 3 characters to your name. 1, 2, 3. The first one's your last name, your family name, and these 2 are your first names. Let's call this one your last name as being A. The first character is being B. The last character being C. So you only have 3 characters to your name. Some people only have 2 characters to their name. However, traditionally, most people will have 3 characters to their names. Okay, so it's very important to know the essence of every single character here. This first character here, Jiu, or Jiao, or Ju, or Ji-Chu, or Chu, or Chill, or some other variation depending on where you originated from and where you immigrate to. This is your family name, so this name cannot be changed when you are born, okay? Especially in China, especially in the village. So this name is fixed, it cannot be changed. The last part of your name, and this is a nonsense example. Sure, this means restaurant here, but I just chose this as a nonsense example because I really don't want to put anyone's real name right here. Chanting is just a restaurant's name of a restaurant, or it is a restaurant. So just for example, the first character would be Chan, the last character could be Ting, Chanting, just as a nonsense example here. So let's just focus on splitting it into 2. So the last character here, Ting, is your first name, the last character of your first name. This character is given to you by your parents or a fortune teller, depending where you're from and depending on how superstitious your family is. So this name is given to you by your family because that's your last name. This character is given to you by your parents or a fortune teller or someone else, maybe your auntie, uncle, something like this. This middle character here is perhaps the second most important character in the entire thing because this character here in traditional Chinese naming system in the jukpo depends on your generation. So if you're on the first generation, second generation, or third generation, this will change. So for example here, if you are the second generation, this may be Chan, Ting, but if you have a brother who's also the same generation as you, because you are the same generation, and your brother's name will also share the same second character here, but he'll have a different third character here. So for example, I'll give another nonsense example here, just as an example. Okay, so just as a nonsense example here, Chan Nei. So this means you. Let's put you here, just as an example, nonsense example. So you may be called Chan Ting, but your brother, who's in the same generation as you, may be Chan Nei. Okay, so his full name, your name would be Jiao, Jill, Chan Ting, and your brother's name would be Jill, Chan Nei. Okay, that's how it goes. So you share the same second character here because you are the same generation. But let's say your father's generation here. So let me give you a nonsense example here. Okay, so here I wrote, this is your generation here. And this is your father's generation here. Let's write it here. Okay, so your father's generation here, his name would be Jill, No, Ta, and if he had a brother, for example, same generation as him, Jill, No, Mun, Jill, Na, Mun. And your generation here is second generation here, would be, for example, Jill, Chan, Ne, and your brother, or you and your brother, Jill, Chan, Ting. So only the second character would change because your father and your brother are the same generation as each other. They will share the same middle character. You, with your own brother here, will share the same middle character here too. Only the last character will vary. So without further ado, let's take a look at one page, a random page selected from the Juk poll. Here, I'm going to open a random page. So there are no lifting here. So it's just a completely random page. Okay, let's take a look at the Juk poll here. Pay attention to the right-hand side. Let's zoom in a little bit. As you can see, there are various characters on the right-hand side. And how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and off screen, 11, 12. There are a total of 12 characters here. Every character represents one generation. So for example, this would be the first generation, second generation, third generation, fourth generation, and so on, all the way down to the 12th generation right here is off screen. So there's 12 generations here. Each generation is represented by a different character here. Let's zoom in a little bit. So for example, if you are this generation right here, this is you. You're born in a Chinese village. Your father's generation, the middle character, your generation, your middle character will be this character right here. And your father's generation, who is one generation older than you, his middle character of his name will be this character right here. And accordingly, his father's generation, your grandpa's generation, will be right here. And your great-grandpa's generation will be right here. So you are here. Let's say you have a kid. Your kid's middle character of his name, so the second character, will be here. And your grandkids will be here. Your great-grandkids will be here. Your great-great-grandkids will be here, and so on. That is how it is on a Juk poll here. So traditionally, people tend to follow this type of naming scheme. Let's take a look at one example here. Okay, so I just turned to a random example. I believe for this Juk poll, the current generation right now as we speak today will probably be this one, B or bit. Okay, that's the current generation for this year. So kids will be named something Jill, bit, something, whatever the last character will be. So the first character will be Jill, right here. The second character will be bit. And the third character could be whatever they want. So let's take a look at some examples here. Take a look at this character right here. The Shi example here, Shi in Mandarin. So you can see this person here is named Shi. So, and I guess he has another, to see, same generation here and here. One thing I have to note, this book was printed incorrectly, so it kind of looks a little bit weird. I'll explain the format of this book in the second video or third video, but you can see that people tend to follow the same naming scheme here. Let's take a look at a better example, another random page. Okay, let's take a look at here. Look at this generation here, Shang. This guy is also named Shang. So the second character of his name would be this. And he has some siblings here and here. So that everyone's named the same second character here because they are the same generation here. Look at the next one. This one. See this guy, same generation. So the middle character will be here and here also. See this one? And this family follows the same naming scheme. This person decided to be different. See? So we'll go over what does these actually mean later on in a different video here. But I want to go over the hierarchy of the naming scheme of the second character of a traditional Chinese jukpo here, as you can see. So give you one last example of a completely random page. See? Everyone follows traditional naming scheme. So traditionally, that's how it's followed. But you don't necessarily have to follow it. You can see some people don't follow it, and some people do. And that's how it is. So now you understand the format of a traditional 3-character Chinese name in relationship to a jukpo. So next video, I'll make a future video about the actual namings of here. What do these various lines mean, and what do this data actually says, and who actually is included in a jukpo and who is not included in a jukpo. Thank you. Bye.